So many people have asked me to do this, and I've held off on it because I think it's one of the worst items on McDonald's menu. I mean, they're all terrible, but this is the worst. So of course, we're gonna turn it into the best. Okay, so today we're making, this is the actual name, the McDonald's sausage biscuit with egg. Look at those words. I don't have anything to say about that. This one paints itself. The first order of business is A, to put cheese on it, because why would that not be standard? And secondarily, we're gonna be making the perfect breakfast sausage ground from scratch. Of course, we're making the most classy traditional buttermilk biscuits from scratch, and then putting it all together into what I think would be the most ideal biscuit breakfast sandwich. And with all that being said, let's make this, shall we?
Nothing more American than the American flag followed by a sign of McDonald's. Here we are, McDonald's, yet again with a 3-point test. Now, the building, it's a McDonald's building, so that loses points, but it's well kept, so I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Hi, can I just get the sausage biscuit with an egg, and can you add cheese to that as well? Okay, thank you. Look at this. Look at all of these signs. There's so much going on. I just want my sausage biscuit with egg. Kendrick is making such a good point. This is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and how are they solving this? Road signs that you see for people that are like, I will buy your house, any house, I'll buy it. Thank you so much, appreciate it. You too. All in all, very sweet. Service was good. So service is actually always pretty good here. Give that one an 8 out of 10. To route back to the menu rating, we'll give that 1 out of 10. Actually, you know what? I'll give it a 2 out of 10 because the actual things that are on the menu are pretty common and understood to be good. They're just not good here. So, right now. Ah! So we've got the bag. You know, this is a lot better design. Monogram your logo. It's like the Gucci of McDonald's. Gucci'Nald's. This what y'all after? You know what's funny? It does not come on the menu with cheese. It just says sausage biscuit with egg. I can't even talk about the flavor right now because I almost ran out of breath because of how dry that is. It's like that meme that's like, Popeye's biscuits. This is single-handedly the toughest, driest biscuit I've ever put in my mouth in my entire life. The sausage itself is the worst part. The egg is just like a sponge. So long story short, this should be a breakfast that you cherish, not one that you want to take to the grave. So we're gonna do that. Not take it to the grave, cherish it, for the record.
Shockingly, this is one of the easiest but better sandwiches we've ever made. Let's talk biscuits. And look, all a good biscuit requires is a little bit of love, care, and a lot of butter. Now, preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, then in a medium-sized bowl, add 2.5 cups or 375 grams of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon or 7 grams of fine sea salt, 1.5 tablespoons or 17 grams of granulated sugar, and 1 tablespoon or 11 grams of baking powder. Whisk all that till thoroughly combined. Now to your flour, you'll add 3/4 of a cup or 170 grams of very cold, unsalted butter that's been cut into half-inch cubes, and I repeat, cold. This brother was cubed and left in the fridge until ready to use. Then using a pastry blender or a fork, cut your butt into your flour until you get pea-sized balls. Pea balls, if you will. Then using a fork, stir in 1 cup or 240 milliliters of a nice buttermilk, and as soon as you get a very rough, shaggy dough, dump that out onto a work surface and very lightly knead it until it comes together. The more you touch the dough, the more you ruin it. Now gently roll your dough until it's a rough rectangle, fold it like a letter, folding it into thirds that overlap, then roll it out one more time until you get a rough rectangle that's about 3/4 of an inch thick. Then using a 4-inch biscuit cutter, cut out as many pieces as you can and place this on a baking sheet lined with greased parchment paper. Oh Josh, I have leftover dough I don't want to waste, please help. Well, guess what? Take the trim and gently push it back together and knead until it combines. Roll it out again and punch out more biscuits until all of your dough has been used. You should end up with 6 beautiful and massive biscuits. Lightly brush the top of those bad boys with extra buttermilk and pop them into your preheated oven for 12 to 14 minutes or until they're beautifully golden brown. And optionally, while they're still hot, brush the tops with melted butter and hit them with a light sprinkling of flaky salt. Here I'm using smoked flaky salt for the full flex. Then just let those bad boys cool to room temp on a wire rack, and yes, that's all you need to make a glorious biscuit that shimmers in the light. Moving on to breakfast sausage. You want breakfast sausage that you think about for breakfast, lunch, snack 1, 2, 3, and dinner. So you gotta make it yourself. First, snag yourself 2 pounds or 907 grams of ground pork, which of course I'm grinding myself, and if you want to as well, you'll need 2 pounds of boneless Boston butt roast, cut into pieces that fit your grinder nicely. To that, you'll add 8 sage leaves, finely chopped, 1 tablespoon or 4 grams of fresh thyme leaves, also finely chopped, half a teaspoon or half gram of cayenne powder, 1.5 teaspoons or 3 grams of fennel powder, half a teaspoon or 3 grams of MSG. 2.5 teaspoons or 18 grams of fine sea salt, 1 tablespoon or 11 grams of light brown sugar, and a pinch of fresh nutmeg. Toss all that together until thoroughly combined, or if you're using pre-ground pork, you'll knead it together. And grind that through your meat grinder once till all of it's ground, and then one more time to get it extra emulsified and fine. Again, knead that lightly, and you have your breakfast sausage ready to become a discus of flavor. This breakfast sausage can be cooked like any other, but I prefer to treat it more like a smash burger. So get a lightly greased pan screaming hot over medium-high, roll your meat into balls at around 4 ounces, depending on how thickums you want them. Then place it in the center of your pan, press with a spatula or a burger press until about 1/4 of an inch thick, and sear for 1 to 2 minutes. Flip, sear on the other side for another minute or till cooked through and beautifully browned, and you have a sausage that makes 6 to 8 patties depending on their size, and a beautiful aroma to enjoy. Keep your meats hot and make your egg. Now on that subject, McDonald's keeps it very uncomplicated and boring. So we'll do that, but minus the boring. So in a medium-sized bowl, add 8 whole eggs, a splash of heavy cream, whisk it together till thoroughly combined, then whisk in salt and pepper to taste. And before any of the internet elite try to hop on this and say, oh, you can't salt your eggs now, Josh, what do you know? Brother, shut the hell up. Now heat a non-stick 12-inch skillet over medium heat and add 2 tablespoons or 28 grams of unsalted butter to the pan. Once melted and boobling, add in just enough egg to coat the bottom of the pan. Should be about 1/4 of your eggs. Let that egg start to set, dragging any cooked egg gently back to the center and allowing the uncooked stuff to hit the hot pan. And once that egg is about 90% of the way cooked, but has just a little bit of moisture on the surface, cut the heat, fold the egg towards the center in quarters until you get a beautifully square, roughly the size of your biscuit. That's it. Place it to the side and repeat with the rest of your eggs. Wow, look, it didn't go watery because we nearly fully cooked the eggs. Now to make your sandwich, get yourself one of your biscuits, either tear it or slice it in half, place a pat of salted butter in betwixt both halves, repeat with however many sandwiches you're making, wrap them lightly in foil and place in a warm oven around 250 Fahrenheit for 10 minutes or till just hot and melted. Pull her out and assemble. Sauce is the alpha and omega of any sandwich, and McDonald's dry-ass biscuit could use it. So you can either make a sauce or just add a touch of mayo to your buttered biscuit, then add a layer of sliced cheddar cheese, melt that with a torch or broiler, then a slice of Monterey Jack, also melted, your beautifully juicy sausage patty, and finally your folded buttery egg square thing. Grab the lid to your treasure chest and crown your beautiful breakfast king. Judging by the looks of this, as per usual, the other version looks like a tragedy next to mine, but who knows? Let's give this a taste test and see where we land.
One of them smells like a foot. Which one is it? The one from McDonald's. I don't care if you can go and get it in 5 minutes for $2. That's not the point. We can't just accept this as the alpha and omega of breakfast sandwiches. All right, let's taste test this. Ooh! This is a symphony of what a sausage breakfast sandwich should be and should have been. The biscuit is flaky, buttery, delicate, melts in your mouth. Sausage, perfectly salted, the umami is there, the herbaceousness, the fresh herbs. This all comes together, to me, to be a much better biscuit breakfast sandwich. All right, Pano, you're way far away.
Let's see if it holds up.
There you go. So that's number 1. Numero dos.
Yeah, that one was a lot less tasty. The number 1, it took me down to a country road. Good soup.
Thank you, Pano. We have today's winner, good soup. Isn't this so much better? If you don't want to make it yourself and you want to drive down for $2, I don't care.
You want to know what else has my biscuit buttered? B-roll.
All right, guys, and that is it. So we made our sausage biscuit with egg and cheese, which I think would make a lot more sense if it was the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit breakfast sandwich, okay? Or you could just call it the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. See, doesn't that roll off the tongue? Yes, I would like to order a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Thank you so much. Now let's try it the other way. Oh, hi, can I get a sausage biscuit with egg? If you ever say the words with egg, you need to turn 360 degrees and walk out the door. I don't have anything extra to say about this. The visuals told the story. So with all that being said, if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.